All right. Um, let's finish with this case. Again, we're going to solve a triangle. We're given the same stuff: big B, little c. So we found a triangle. We found two triangles. Now on this one, I just want to dive right into it. I don't want to think. I don't want to do anything. I just want to attack it. Let's go. So what are we given? So the ratio is given right there. All right, cool. So there's our ratio. We always want to find that. And even when we start to learn more techniques like law of cosines, this is the only thing I look for when I start a problem. Well, actually, I look for, do you have two angles? So you can find the third. But my first thought is there an angle and a side opposite? Because if there is, I'm always going to go back to the law of sines. I like the law of sines. It's pretty mellow. Law of cosines, a little bit more involved, a little tougher to memorize. So I don't know. That's really what I look for when we get to more cases. Don't stress if you're not quite getting the angle side or side angle or anything like that. You just chill out. Just look for that ratio. Now again, we're going to have to go for C because it's the only one that's going to be given. So we're like, all right, let's go get sine of C. Go get sine of C, and that's over that 2 there. Cool, we need to go solve for C, so let's multiply it by 2 on both sides of the equation. So we get 2 times that sine of 50. And if you don't mind, I'm not going to write the 1. You know what I mean? It's equal to sine of C. And once again, we got to get that angle out of the argument by hitting it with its inverse. So we're like, okay, cool, let's hit just both sides of this thing. So a sine inverse, and that's going to get that angle out of the argument, right? So we're like, okay, here's C. C is equal to, and let me get my calculator out. Oops, I think my fingers got fat or something. Don't you hear me punching the buttons? Oh, why does it keep telling me there's a domain error? Why does it keep saying... It keeps telling me there's a domain error. Did I punch it in wrong? And the issue is this. There's no solution. There's no solution for this. There's no answer. There's a domain error. And the reason being is we're taking sine inverse. And what's 2 times sine of 50? Let's see what 2 times sine of 50 equals. And that's approximately 1.5-ish. You know you're only allowed to plug things in here that are in between -1 and 1? That's too big. The ratio is too big. What this tells you, so you get to this point and you've double checked and you're like, my fingers didn't get fat. I didn't do anything freaking weird. You just go, boom. This is no triangle. This isn't a triangle. It's kind of nice. The calculator is going to help you out if you don't see it. So when there's not a triangle, that's typically the good news one. We're like, yes, no triangle. It said domain error. But really, double check. And this only happens in this case. Don't you go writing down no triangle trying to put that in for the law of cosines. There's always going to be a triangle. Something's going wrong, that's on you. This is the one case, and it only comes when you're trying to hit that thing with the sine inverse, because there's domain restrictions. This is why, and I'm going to show you why. Like, I just drew the triangle in, just assuming it was a triangle. But this is truly closer to what the proportions would look like. If this thing is 2, this length, and there's a 50-degree angle. Dude, 1 is just a frickin' dangler. It's not long enough to make it back down. We don't know how long A is. We're not sure how long A is. I just wrote something in just to have something. We don't know. That's an undetermined part. But with that 50-degree angle, we do know this, that an angle does pop out and that this length has to be 2. And if this shit's only 1, it's a dangler. It can't go back. What we're describing is impossible. So that's why it doesn't work. But in practice, it's typically just going to be your calculator. It's just slapping you on the hand and go, no, you're not allowed to plug 1.5 into sine inverse. But we jump past it so often, it's kind of hard to see through the calculator. But that's the why. The next one, we'll start talking about some areas, and then we'll move on to our law of cosines. See.